like some kind of assurance, and maybe you can't offer that now, that may in the future be a right-of-way, a public right-of-way through there. But I don't know what your plans are.
I don't have any plans to develop the site immediately, and so I hesitate to make commitments when I don't really have plans to do so at this point.
Okay.
I mean, it would make sense that there'd be connectivity between D Street and Mountain View, particularly in light of all the traffic nightmares at McDonald Elementary. I mean, that place is a disaster.
Yeah.
If you go through there at 8:30 or at 3:15, or from 2:30 to 3, I mean, you're not moving. I mean, you want to talk about a traffic problem, that's it. But, I mean, it'd be nice to see some connectivity there, but at the same time, we don't have any plans at this point that would prompt me to make commitments along those lines.
Easement wording on that.
Right. We don't have a precise legal description because as the design requirements get made, then we can work out those details. But
I can tell you is living there now for 2 years, it is the Wild West right there. Average speed, 85, easily. Now, I know you could say, well, we could just solve that with a sign, something of that nature.
No. I know what you can solve it with, but we probably shouldn't talk about that.
But something there, I think from a traffic standpoint, actually would be a huge benefit to get some sort of life out there where people don't just think. I mean, I was there right when the car went all the way through, and if you were aware of that, but they say it was 110 miles an hour, didn't make that turn, and just went straight into Mountain View Park. People do it every single day. I mean, dozens and dozens and dozens. So I think it actually, would also just help bring some stability in that area. And I just wanted to ask you, you had asked about the bus question. I was just curious. I wanted to ask what your thought was on that and why the question was asked.
It's irrelevant to
Okay.
to your testimony.
Okay.
So you talk to us.
Okay, because buses are already come down there all day long. I just didn't know if you were aware of that. So buses are making that turn all day long and are already on that trajectory. So thank you.
But Logos School has done its due diligence. We've met with city officials, county officials, the State Department of Environmental Quality, and the traffic engineer.
Additionally, with the traffic concerns, I would just like to say that I think a school zone there would help significantly with helping people to keep in mind that there are other people in that area, and keeping in mind safety first, that they need to go slower through that area, and also the roundabout, I believe, would help as well. Thank you.
So you have McDonald School, you have Lena Whitmore School, you have the charter school, and you have the middle school, and they are all serviced by little tiny arterials, D and F and B Street, and then Mountain View Street, and the children are all going back and forth across those streets, and they're all doing it at the time that school is trying to get out, and you're talking about adding an additional 400 to 500 children coming down that road that already can't handle the children that are on it now. I just worry that children are going to be killed. It's just not a safe situation out there to be putting that many children out on that corner of town with the poor infrastructure that we have in terms of...
For the transportation safety, again, having a lot more students out there and a lot of traffic and capacity for all the extra traffic there, and after school sports, driving in with the sun in your eyes. I don't know.
It's really tough when school is finished, when all the parents come to pick up all their cute little kids. Man, it is murder. You just stack up in all directions, and it's not very pleasant. So I also worry about.
Everyone in this room knows that D Street and Mountain View are crazy and have been getting crazier for years and years. And it's not just at 8 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon when school opens and closes. On my way here, there were soccer games, there's baseball games, we've got new fields, lacrosse going on, we've got the swimming center, and there's tons of people, hundreds of people a day go by my house out on Paradise Creek Trail. There's kids learning to ride their bikes, there's people jogging and walking their dog, and it's a wonderful place out there. This school is going to negatively impact our way of living, everyone who lives out there. When I come home from work, it's close to 6 o'clock usually, and D Street is nuts at that time of day because of all of there's a skateboard park, there's baseball, there's all kinds of things. When I came over here, it was crazy at that time. I'm afraid I'm going to hit some kid on a skateboard zooming out in front of me, and you're just going to make it a lot worse by acquiescing to this request, is what I'm saying. It's already bad. The city knows it's bad. Several years ago, the city tried to put a road through 3rd Street to go through to Mountain View to make it a little better. I don't know. I wasn't at those meetings. That was rejected because of homeowners complaining, I understand. But D Street has so much pressure on it right now, and D and Mountain View are horrible. And I think everybody in this room knows that. If you don't know it, then go drive it sometime and see.
But do you have any observations for how you might address that so that this school could be built?
I think that if you put a road through on from on 3rd Street, if you put that all the way through, it would help. Because
I don't think so. Let's keep to this point.
So if you're planning it and zoning it, that's a plan you could make, is to put 3rd through, because right now the traffic issue, D Street has way too much pressure on it for the street that it is. So.
My concern is that we've just been told there are 417 students who will be going to this school, many of whom will be routed up Mountain View Street, possibly coming down F, I don't know, or down D, but the cars turning are not really a whole lot better for crossing pedestrians than the cars that are going straight through. We've also heard that they hope to have large athletic events that would presumably be an awful lot more buses and cars. And because access to the site from the highway would require those buses and cars coming through town, most of those would be routed up Mountain View as well. And so you're looking at a significant addition to the traffic going up the street, particularly at that intersection where an awful lot of children cross. Now, I have to say I love living in Moscow, where we can let our kids walk to school by themselves and feel like they're safe. And so I think the city needs to make sure it considers the safety of those children who are crossing there.
Only thing that has changed from 2005 to now is that students have increased in number, automobiles have increased in number, and the city did put a 4-way stop sign at D Street. That's the only change in my observation that has occurred.
And the traffic thing's a huge thing. Mountain View Road on that dog leg, there's a lot of people that walk that every morning with their pets, with their bicyclists.
I think we've...
What I did is I took the time, mathematically, to figure out the distance of each of these families drives now to that property we currently are at. Then I took the distance from every family driving to the new school. It'll be a savings of 20 miles each time. So 20 miles in the morning, 20 miles in the afternoon, that's 40 miles less of travel congestion to the city of Moscow by Logos School being in this spot as opposed to that spot. Well, 40 miles a day may not seem like a lot. 100 days is 4,000.
Mr. Stevenson, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it doesn't relate to the issue in front of us, the conditional use permit and the variance. And I'm sorry it doesn't. It's interesting information, and I am glad that you did that.
To traffic flow or congestion of traffic on Mountain View. Does it not relate to that?
I don't think it does, no. I think that what, and frankly, I'd like to be able to conclude this hearing before I qualify for more Social Security. And so if you would wrap your comments up.
Sure.